So this is the reason that we're even here. It's the whole reason that we're on this planet right now.
Fear God!
So fear God.
And keep His commandments!
And keep His commandments. Everybody want to know the meaning of life? Read it again.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
The whole reason that you are here on this planet is to fear the Most High God and to keep His commandments. And with that, I yield.
He answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It does. All praise.
Mexican brothers getting shot in their own driveway in front of their kids. All of these are the beginning of sorrow, right? We believe these things. We come out here every week to show our faith.
Come out here and stop you? Did we come out here to talk to you? Did we come out here to talk to you? No, we came out here to talk to our people. We came out here to spread love to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Same people, your people.
Alright. So right now, I got a little lesson I'm going to go ahead and teach on. It's about the law. I want to start off with let me get Deuteronomy 4 verse 6, and then let me get Deuteronomy 7. So the Most High God chose a special people out of all the people on the face of the earth and decided to bless them and give them, laws, statutes, and commandments, and give them other little blessings. And we're going to read about that right here.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, starting at 5.
Bring it up.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me.
So the Most High God commanded Moses to teach our people laws, statutes, and commandments. Those people are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Now, no other race, just the Israelites.
That ye should do so in the land whether ye go into possess it.
So the land that He gave us was our possession, was our portion, unless you were of the tribe of Levi, in which your portion was pretty much the Lord as your portion, and the other tribes would give you what you needed.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So doing these laws, statutes, and commandments proved to the other nations that we had wisdom.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
So it proved to them that we were wiser than them and had way better understanding than them. Proved to them that we were better than them on many different levels, because we had something that they didn't have, which is the law and the Lord on our side.
Oh.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself.
So, like I said it before a few minutes ago, the Most High chose a special people to be unto Himself special, to be unto Himself holy, separate from everybody else. And these people are the Israelites.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
And these people that He chose are above every other nation on the face of the earth. So these 12 tribes that were chosen are above everybody else. It doesn't matter which race they think they are, or whatever they think they superior or whatever. Nah, the Israelites are.
This is Joel 2:27.
Bring it out.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
So that right there sounds very possessive. The Most High said, I'm the Lord your God, not the God of the whole world, not the God of all these other nations that try to pretty much write themselves into the book or talk themselves into the books and into the promises and we can be grafted in. No, it don't say. They say, I am the Lord your God. That is very possessive right there. You know?
And my people shall never be ashamed.
And my people shall never be ashamed. He didn't say the whole world wouldn't be ashamed. He's talking about a specific people, the Israelites. They will never be ashamed. So again, we're talking about the law here. And the Most High gave the law to a specific people, which are the Israelites. So your church and a lot of people in the world will tell you that the law is dead. But if the law is dead, why did the Lord give it to his special people? Why did he keep throughout the Bible commanding us to do the law? And then there's certain little things that come along with doing the law and also that come along with breaking the law. So right now, we're about to see what is breaking the law.
First John, chapter 3, verse 4.
Bring it out.
Whosoever committeth sin,
So whoever commits a sin, what is sin?
transgresseth also the law.
So sin is transgression of the law. So if the law is dead, why is sin transgression something that doesn't exist anymore? So sin is the transgression of the law. The law cannot be dead because if you sin, you just broke the law. The Lord does not change, neither does his law change.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Baruch 4:1.
That's what I was. That's
This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endures forever.
So the law endureth till tomorrow.
Forever.
The law endureth forever. Not until Jesus comes back and die on the cross. Not until you feel like breaking it and not doing it no more. Not until your pastor says the law is dead, but I'm going to pass this collection plate because I need your money.
Right.
The law endureth forever.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. All they that keep it shall come to life.
So everybody that keeps this law is going to be alive. It's going to be all that keep the law is going to be brought to life. Because without this law, you're pretty much living in the valley of dead bones. You're pretty much here, but you're not here. You know, you're out here doing everything that the Most High is telling you not to do. You're not keeping the law. You're already dead. The Most High is not hearing your prayers.
Right.
It's so much that comes along with that. Still got another
But such as leave it shall die.
And whoever leaves this law is going to die. First off, you're already dead because you're not even in the law. You're not doing what the Most High said, you're already considered dead. You know?
We got precept.
Okay, hold on. Did you have a precept? My bad.
This is Acts 28 and 23.
Bring it out, dog.
And when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him into his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the kingdom, persuading them concerning Jesus, both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets from morning till evening.
So after Christ is already on the cross, already gone, they still talking about the law. They keep it. Go ahead, read that for me again.
And when he expounded and testified the kingdom of God, persuading them concerning Jesus, both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets from morning till evening.
So he's still preaching the law to these people, to our people. Not just these people, not just any people, to the Israelites, letting them know, hey, we need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Hey, we need to get it together as a people, as a whole, as a nation. And go ahead and repent for everything that we've done and get back to what we're supposed to be doing, which is our heritage, which is written throughout this Bible.
That's right.
You know?
Revelations 22 verse 14.
Bring it out.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
So this is the last book of the Bible, the last page of the Bible. You can't flip the Bible to the next page at all right here. And what is it saying?
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Blessed are they that do his commandments. You cannot make it more plain than that. It's telling you on the last page of the, but you can't flip it to the next page. It's telling you to keep the Bible from pretty much page 1 all the way to the last page.
Right.
So how was the law dead?
Right.
How was it not existent? How did it didn't die on the cross with Christ, as I was taught when I was in the Christian church?
Right.
That was a lie.
Right.
Keep going, King.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
So if you do the commandments, you may have right to the tree of life. So that means if you out here sinning, you ain't got nothing to look forward to.
Right.
Right? That's what I just heard. Read it again one more time.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
Right?
And may enter through the gates into the city.
So if you want to enter into the gates into that city, you need to be keeping these commandments. It's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
But it's over 64,000 laws over here in America. So I would rather try to do these 613 than worry about these 64,000 laws, which actually they write new laws every year. They don't even tell you that they wrote some or amended something.
Right.
You just out here living. You don't even know what's going on. But every year on what they consider New Year's, it comes out with 900 or more new laws.
Right.
I bet you didn't know that.
Right.
Keep going. Keep going. Go to the next. I want you to go to the next verse. I got you.
15. For without our dogs.
So everybody on the outside of this wall, everybody that's sinners, everybody that didn't keep the commandments, were outside are what?
For without our
Are
dogs.
dogs
And sorcerers.
and sorcerers
And whoremongers.
and whoremongers.
And murderers.
Look at what you got to look forward to if you're not keeping these commandments.
And adulterers. And whosoever loveth and maketh the law.
So if you want to be associated with all those type of people, keep just living your best life.
Right.
You know, do what you want to do. If you think it's free will and all that, keep doing that. But if you want to be on the other side of them gates and have right to the tree of life, you need to do these commandments.
Right.
Precept.
Deuteronomy 11:1. Therefore thou shalt love the Lord thy God and keep his charge and his statutes and his judgments and his commandments always.
So if you love the Lord, you're going to do what he told you to do, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments, not just today, not just tomorrow, but always.
Right.
Until the day you die.
Right.
Or until the day that Yahweh Shai crack that sky and the chariots come and save us. Whatever comes first.
1 Corinthians 9:9.
This is after who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ already passed away.
For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the ox of the thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out of the corn. Does God take care for ox?
So we still reading out of the commandments. We still reading what was called the commandments of Moses right here. This is the commandments that was given way back 3,000 years ago. We still reading that, and we in Corinthians.
Right.
Like, so how is the law dead? And a lot of, Christians, people that go to church, they only read the New Testament. So we reading here in the New Testament that it's still telling you to keep the law, or it's bringing up references of the law.
Teach them, huh?
Precept.
It's Matthew 5:17.
Bring it out.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Yahweh Shai said it out of his own mouth. Think not that I have come to destroy the law. I didn't come to get rid of this law. I didn't come to do away with the law. I didn't come to bury the law. The law is not buried with me. I'm not ending or abolishing or none of that to the law. Keep going, King.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He came to fulfill prophecies. He came to do his part. And also, he's not done doing his part. He's taking a quick hiatus because that's how it's written that would happen. When he comes back, he's going to continue to fulfill prophecies. The day he comes back.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Last I checked, the earth is still here, and from what I know, heaven's still here, because the earth is still here. So that means ain't not one jot, not one tittle, not one line, not one dot or one cross has passed away from the law.
Right.
Not one period, not one comma. It's all there still. Some of it we cannot do because we are not in our kingdom. We do not have our temple. But that does not mean that you can't keep the ones that you can keep.
Right.
You know? So with that being said, the law is not dead.
Right.
There's more on this. Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
So if you over here thinking that you ain't got to do the smallest thing,
and shall teach men so.
And if you teaching another brother, oh, the law dead, man. Don't worry about that. You go ahead and get you a tattoo, man. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go ahead and whatever it is. You teaching somebody that, you know what? You a pastor right here teaching, hey, man, only law that's still relevant is paying tithes, pretty much, because that's all y'all do. This is what you got coming.
Shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven.
So if you're an Israelite, you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. You'll be there, but you're not going to get as good as a, not prize, what am I trying to say?
Reward
as you could have. You know? By keeping the commandments and doing something as simple as teaching the next man, hey, the law's not dead and you need to keep these commandments. Whether they hear it or not.
Right.
Whether they hear it or not, that's still telling somebody that they need to do better.
There's still more on this. God. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. One more time, King.
But whosoever shall do and teach them.
So if you out here actually doing the law, and on top of that, trying to keep the law and teach the law to the next man,
it's like it. The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
God.
You ain't even got to be the best teacher. You don't got to have every breakdown out the Bible. All you just need to do is plant a little bitty seed.
Right.
Hey, bro, you know you're not supposed to be smoking. Hey, you need to wear these little tassels, man, to remember to keep the law.
Right.
Hey, why you not growing your beard?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't take a lot.
I got uno mas.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 19:24.
Bring it out, King.
He that hath small understanding and feareth God is better than one that hath much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High.
Because you can be in this truth and you can transgress the law really bad. But somebody that just joined in the truth, don't really know too, he just giving you the few little precepts he barely got. That man is better than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Precept. Yeah, Tizarab had the next precept.
This is Luke 24:44.
Bring it out, King.
And he said unto them, Christ, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
So Jesus, or how we know him as Yahweh Shai, still reading out of the law. Read it for me again. Yeah.
These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses.
So all these things have to be fulfilled which was written in the law of Moses. But what things?
And in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
So the things concerning him, the fact that he would be, I think, what is it, like riding on a donkey, coming in on a donkey, certain little prophecies concerning him. He would be whipped, he would be hanged on a tree, certain little things like that. It's not saying well, I came to destroy, because he already just said in one of the last precepts, I didn't come to destroy the law. He only came to do what pertained to him as far as fulfilling the prophecies for him to come this first time.
Acts 3 verse 18. But those things which God before has shown by the mouth of all his prophets that Christ should suffer, he has so fulfilled.
So the fact that Christ was homeless, the fact that Christ was hated by many, the fact that every time he would get to doing certain things, they wanted to kill him. These are things that was written about in the Bible.
Acts 3 verse 18. But those things which God before has shown by the mouth of all his prophets that Christ should suffer, he has so fulfilled.
So the things that Christ should suffer, that's what was fulfilled in the law or in the prophets. Not the whole entire law being done away with. It says that nowhere in the Bible. Would you be considered as an African American over here, or black? What do you classify? You know you're Israel? That's right. All praise to the Most High. You know what tribe? Okay. Like, was your family a part of the transatlantic slave trade? Did they come over here on the ships? Yeah, so that's why I asked you, like, would you be considered black by this nation? Yeah, so you'll probably be from the tribe of Judah. That's what the African Americans so-called are. We're the tribe of Judah. So we figure out some of these things in Deuteronomy 28. It tells us the blessings that we will receive if we were to listen to the Most High, and then it also tells us the curses that we will receive if we didn't listen to him and broke his commandments. So my lesson today is on us keeping the commandments, because that's what we're supposed to do. In Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, it lets us know that we're a holy people separated unto him, and we're above all other nations on this planet. You know, we're supposed to be on top right now because of the law, statutes, and commandments that he gave us. But since we pretty much rejected him, he put us into this position that we're in today, where our enemies rule over us. And it was only as a punishment, you know, because we chose to not listen to what he told us to do.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hosea 4 verse 6.
Get out.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So we ended up being a destroyed people due to these curses and due to not listening to what the Most High told us to do. These curses destroyed us, and he used so-called white people or Caucasians or Edomites to do it.
God.
Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel. Oh, let me get this one. The curses. Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
So if we would have listened to the Most High God, which we did for a little while, but he would have set us, and we would still be right now to this day on top of the world, ruling it, and everything in it would be our possession.
Verse 15. But it shall come.
Go ahead, skip it down to verse 15. That's all.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Deuteronomy chapter 28 from verse 1 to 15 pretty much gives us all the blessings that we will receive if we will listen and hearken unto the Most High God. Now from 15 on down, it talks about the curses that we receive. And it stops at verse 68. So we received a whole lot of curses. You got a phone? You got notes? Okay, do we have a flyer for the flyer? Oh, okay. I told him to look at that name. Okay. Go ahead.
In the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye shall serve, whether gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, which, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord.
That's right. So the Most High God gave us pretty much an ultimatum. Either we're going to serve Him or we're going to serve the other nations and their gods. And pretty much we chose to serve the other nations and their gods, which is why we're in this position today, because we committed idolatry. We committed pretty much all the sins that He told us not to do. You know, it's more than 10 commandments. So it's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments. And we chose to break those commandments. We chose to not hearken and listen to the voice of our God. So we ended up having to serve other gods. We ended up having to be pretty much going into slavery. We still there to this day because we ain't went home. We still here.
Go ahead. Baruch 4 and 6. You were sold to the nation, not for your destruction, but because you moved God to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemy.
So we made Him mad. He got. You ever heard that God is a jealous God? He got jealous. He got mad. Just think about it. You got a wife? You got a girlfriend? If you did have one and she got to cheating on you, would you not get mad? We're the Most High's wife. Our nation, which is Israel. The Israelites are the Most High's wife, and we cheated on Him. We moved Him to wrath. So with that happening, this is why He punished us the way that He did.
It's Ezekiel 16 and 36. Thus saith the Lord God, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. Behold, therefore, I will gather all thy lovers, with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness.
So we were put into this slavery. They did any and everything that they wanted to our people. Raped, robbed, murdered, pillaged our people, broke our men. You know what I'm saying? We went through some stuff. We went through a lot of different stuff in history, bro. It's real. You know what I'm saying? That all of that stuff that we went through was because we moved the Most High to wrath by not listening to what He told us. Right. He didn't give these laws, statutes, and commandments to everybody. He gave them to a specific people, His special people that He considered His own. Out of everybody in the world at that time, He had a small little portion that He scooped over here, close to Him. And instead of us hearkening and listening and understanding those things, we chose to pretty much run back to the other nations, run to their gods, and do anything that people want to do.
Psalm 147 and 19. He showeth His word unto Jacob.
So He showed His word unto our people.
Right. His statutes and His judgments unto Israel.
Everybody didn't get those things. Our nation got those things. And this is what made us such a great nation. The fact that the Most High gave us knowledge from Him. Everybody else was just out here doing whatever they wanted to. But we got...
Salaki. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for His judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
So the other nations, they didn't get this knowledge that we had. And when they would see us, they would be like, wow, this is a wise and understanding nation. Right? dominated everything. We didn't have basketball and certain things back then, but you can see all of how good we are at certain things through our sports, the way that we move. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who builds all these buildings? Hispanics.
Let's look at Joshua, chapter 24, starting at verse 16. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For the Lord our God, He it is that brought us up, and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, for the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went, and among all people through whom we passed.
So we entered into a covenant with the Most High. And upon entering into this covenant, we agreed that if we didn't do what he said, we would be punished for that.
Right.
And pretty much that's what happened. Any other precepts? Yeah, I'm not even there.
Acts 15, starting 19. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to God.
So, the word Gentile there just means what nation? Just means nation. So a lot of our people don't understand that they are chosen by the Most High. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we don't even consider being who we really are, because we were told that we're niggas. We were told that we're spinks. We are told that we are the worst of the worst. We are not told that we are actually royalty. We're not told that we're above all nations on the face of the earth. Right. That's not what's going on.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols.
So the Most High has commandments for our people. But rather than overload you with a whole lot of things that the Bible says, we have something like a starter pack. So you can just start today and do certain little things. Abstain from idols.
Abstain from pollution of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
So we're not supposed to eat no blood. We're not supposed to eat things that are strangled. We're not supposed to be committing any fornication. We're not supposed to be serving idols. Our God is the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh.
That's right.
And his son's name is Yahweh Shai. That's what the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Hebrew. This is your original language.
Right.
We didn't speak English. We learned that by being beaten and raped and robbed and murdered.
Right.
For Moses of old time had in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
So we went into slavery before. You heard of Moses? So Moses rescued the Israelites from the Egyptians. Right. After that, we were given the law on 2 tablets. And we entered into an agreement with the Most High, a covenant with him, and we agreed to his terms and conditions to be his people. That didn't happen to everybody. Anything else?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And this shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently upon the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth.
That's right.
Did you grow up in church? It's supposed to rain. You grew up in a Christian church?
The clouds were forming
Consider
since
yourself a
earlier,
Christian to
though.
this day? Okay. Did you ever get any of this information that we just told you today at all? No. Did you ever get this before today? Okay. So, right. So, how'd you hear about that we were here? Or you just passed by? Okay. Yeah. We out here every week on Saturdays from 7 p.m. until yeah. So you might catch us for 2, maybe 3 hours, it all depends. But we out here every Saturday at 7 p.m. If you want to, I'm saying that just in case you ever want to come back and learn more, or if you ever have any questions. And then also, man, I wish your phone was on, because we would have gave you the website so you can learn on your own.
Oh, Marsha, can you pass me my backpack?
So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and continue with my lesson, if you don't mind.
I can write it down. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I might go.
And if you still got time, just stay here. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta go nowhere. So to recap, we figured that the Most High told us to keep and do the commandments that He gave us. He also let us know that we are separate unto Himself as a holy people. And then we also learned that sin is the transgression of the law. Then in Baruch 4, we learned that the law shall endure forever, and it is not going nowhere. So to continue with my lesson, we're going to go to SICARRI chapter 15, verse 20. Hold on. And then somebody give me 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. So we don't necessarily discriminate on the Bible, but what we do is we read this right now. What I'm reading out of is the King James version, but we do use the other translations at times to give a better context to our people with like modern words or like in a modern translation. But we use the King James version. We use the original 1611. We use the Good News translation. It just all depends. Oh, did you ask where the book of SICARRI is at? Okay, so you would need a Bible that has the Apocrypha in it. Apocrypha, so it's called Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus, but it's also referenced as the book of SICARRI.
So the Greek Septuagint that Christ was walking around with, it had the Apocrypha. You read John 10 and 22, it says that he celebrated the Feast of Dedication as one of the families of the Apocrypha. So there's a lot of different things that prove that the Apocrypha is there.
So if you ever hear somebody saying the book of SICARRI, it's just Ecclesiasticus.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15, verse 20.
Bring it out.
He has commanded no man to do wickedly.
So the Most High God didn't give anybody a commandment that told them to do anything wicked.
Neither has he given any man license to sin.
And He didn't give out any licenses to sin, because sin is the transgression of the law, right? And the law shall endure forever, according to Baruch 4 and 1. And He also told us in Deuteronomy 4 verses 5 to keep and do them. So He didn't give us a license to sin. Let me get 1 Maccabees chapter chapter 1, verse 11 through 15.
This is 1 Maccabees 1 and 11.
So let's figure out who did give our people a license to sin.
There came out of them, verse 10, there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed and profane, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
So this is during the Greek captivity that this is going on. Keep going.
And in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Right. So a lot of our people, Israelites, decided to go make a covenant with our enemies, which is these Greek people, this Greek captivity, these people that had us in captivity. They chose to go ahead and follow them.
Make a covenant.
No. It was more than 3 captivities. We're on the 7th captivity, the final captivity now. Right.
So read Luke 21 and 24. Christ says that we're going to be led captive into all nations. Clearly, every single nation was like, all right, let's split our fortunes about we get no, it's different. We're in the captivity of Babylonians. We're in the captivity of right. I got something about that. You see that we're in captivity of the Greeks right now. Still, different dukes that we're under captivity with. We're under captivity with Moab. That speaks about that in Jeremiah 42. It also says that the Moabites never went into slavery until today, and in the latter days they're going to go back into slavery. So there's multiple captivities. We're captive unto every nation. So you see the Ethiopians, we're captive unto them. The Sudanese people, the dark people, those are the Egyptians in the Bible. We're captive unto them. Captive unto the white folks, the Asians, the Arabs. We're captive unto everybody. So there's multiple captives. So it says, and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who had gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
So we find out that the Most High God didn't give us a license to sin. But here in Maccabees, we find out who gave us the license to sin. Can you read that part again?
Who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
So to do unto after the ordinance of the heathen means they can go ahead and sin and commit whatever whatever these people were doing. Because what did it say? It said when we wasn't with them, we had much sorrow. So we for some reason we chose to follow after these people instead of listen to the Most High God. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
So we were commanded to be circumcised. We were commanded. Go ahead, read that part again.
And made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant.
And we forsook the holy covenant because we already had a covenant with the Most High God before we tried to make a covenant with these people right here.
And joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
So we chose. Go ahead. Yes. All praises. Yes. Yeah. And then let me get this Job 9:24.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked.
So today, in today's time and throughout our captivity, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. These are the same wicked people that gave us a license, or that we went to and received a license from, to go ahead and do whatever they were doing, to follow after their gods and their rules, and to forsake what we were told by the Most High God. We chose to forsake His stuff and follow them.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So these same people covered up the faces of, they covered up the faces of Jesus to this dude right here, Cesare Borgia, Sibo, which doesn't fit any description of what Christ looks like at all. All right? They covered up their faces, and you can see it throughout history. If you look up Moses, if you look up any of our forefathers, they're white. They don't look nothing like us. You know? They covered up the faces of our judges and our higher ups. So we're gonna go to the book of Sirach. Let me get Sirach 12:6. And then let me get Romans 6:23. They keep, you know, I was told throughout my life that the law is dead. And we don't have to listen to the law. The only law that I heard that we ever had to keep was pay your tithes.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners.
So what is a sinner? We found out earlier that sin is the transgression of the law, right? And what does the Most High hate? Sinners, right? People that do not keep the law. So how is the law dead if the Most High hates you for not keeping the law? Right. Why we don't learn this in church? Right? This needs to be church 101. You know what I'm saying? This would be something we learn from a kid on up. Right. Right? We should know that. Before we can talk, we should know this.
And will repay vengeance unto the ungodly.
So he said he gonna repay you. You know what? Sins are still a work. And don't you supposed to get paid for what you work? Right. Let's figure out what the wages of sin is.
Romans 6:23. The wages of sin is death.
So the wages of sin are death. The Most High is going to repay you death for transgressing His laws, for not listening to what He's saying. Right. That's your portion. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a horrible death. I know you know what I'm saying? Because the Most High hated sinners. The church will tell you that the Most High hates sin. He hates the sin and the sinner. Right. And then let me get Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. Let me get Psalms 1.
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not.
Alright, so the Most High doesn't change, meaning His laws ain't changed, meaning He still hates sinners to this day. Right. Meaning, because sin is the transgression of the law, and the law endures forever, sin is the transgression of the law, which He told us to keep and do.
Therefore, these sons of Jacob are not consumed.
How?
This is James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. It cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Just basically giving another verse saying that God doesn't change. He's consistent. There's no variables that change His mind or what He does.
This is Ecclesiastes 5:4.
Bring it out.
It says, say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering, He will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. So it's basically saying, don't sit up here and act like it's okay for you to add a sin unto a sin. And just because you're not being paid for your sin, like right away, like He executes judgment right away, that doesn't mean that He's not going to pay you in the long run. Because the Lord is long suffering. So He's going to let you do what you want. You're just racking up the bill. You know, it's your death. That's your ass. But when you read Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, it says, though an evil...
So just like we get paid weekly or bi-weekly, that's pretty much what we're doing when we add sin upon sin. You go get that. You go get your check. You go get your check.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
So since we don't get paid right away, we keep on doing this. We keep on adding sin upon sin is what it's pretty much saying right here. Which is not a good thing, which is what he just brought out right here. Because we don't get paid for that because the wages of sin is death. So like we all saying, you gonna get that check.
Right.
What check you gonna get? Do you want to check for death or you want to check for life? Pretty much. That's what it all boils down to. You gonna either get a check for death or a check for life. So let me get Revelation chapter. I brought it out, but let me get Revelation 22.
Hey, I got one.
You got one right now? Go ahead.
Galatians 6 and 7.
Bring it up.
Says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That shall he also reap. You only gonna get what you put out there.
Just a little more on this.
Go ahead.
I appreciate you, King. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
So what you gonna serve? You gonna serve your flesh? You gonna serve the Most High God? You know what I'm saying? Our flesh wants to do wicked things. The Most High wants us to do righteous things. So,
This is Romans 7 and 21.
bring it out, kid.
I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. So that inward man that he's seeking after, that's the law of the Lord. That's what he wants to do. Like in his heart and his mind, he wants to serve the Lord, but his flesh is constantly warring with him. Because if the flesh wasn't warring with the Spirit, it would be easy. We wouldn't have nothing to worry about. Christ wouldn't say, he that endures to me, the same shall be saved. He wouldn't say nothing. But he told us to endure because we're going to constantly be put to the test. The Most High wants to know, he wants quality, not quantity. He don't care about that. He care about how good you are. You know what I'm saying? So you have we all want to serve the Lord as best as we can, but the devil always working. He's doing his job. His job is to deceive us, make us go wrong, so our flesh might actually do something wrong. Just like the Sabbath, you might keep the Sabbath, you're not doing nothing, but then you might forget about it. You go over there, buy something, you just broke the law, you're supposed to put to death. But that's why Paul's speaking about grace, because the Jews weren't showing no mercy.
So I got a precept to what he just said. Let me get that Sicarii chapter 2. Pretty much what he's saying is right here.
Ecclesiastes 2 and 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare your soul for temptation. Because what's gonna end up happening is your flesh and your spirit is gonna war with each other. You gotta understand that first and foremost. And you need to prepare yourself for that, to be able to battle that. Because I don't know if you smoke, you're gonna be tempted to smoke. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have those tests. It's gonna be a lot of different stuff. Testing your patience, testing how you act with your people, because you don't know when you entertaining angels.
Right.
So you gotta understand a whole lot of different things, man. You gotta understand that, and you're gonna be tested in many different ways. Whatever way you can get got, you're gonna be tested that way. And a good example of that is, have you read the book of Job? He was.
So in this, when I'm reading it, when it says she or her, it's speaking about wisdom. Well, that's what the Lord gives us. So Ecclesiastes 4 and 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her law. So what it's saying is, before wisdom, dealing with you, she's gonna try you. Because again, before you let somebody in your house, you got to trust that person. Right. So before wisdom wants to deal with you, she got to make sure you're not playing on this. A lot of people, they say, "Oh, the Lord name we cast out demons. In your name we did this. We did all this. I said, get away from me. You break God's law. And then when we read it in the NLT, that's what it says. But they want to know, or the Lord wants to know, are you really about this or are you playing with it? So he's definitely going to torment you, he's going to try you, he's going to discipline you, he's going to take you that long walk. Kids walking through thorns, but you can't hold my hand, you got to walk by yourself. I'm making you strong.
I appreciate it. Check it out.
Y'all ready for it right now? The book of Ecclesiastes 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
So he likens us to gold. And he's telling you that gold is tried in the fire. So when you get pure gold, you put it in the fire, and all the impurities come to the top, and you kind of scoop those impurities out. So the same way that happens is how we get tested. So when we're going through these trials and tribulations, it's so he can get those impurities out. Keep going, or is that it?
I got one.
No, that was it on that.
Yeah. Ecclesiasticus 37 and 27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. So basically, like what the brothers were saying with your soul or your spirit warring with the flesh, after a certain point, you know what your flesh lusts after, right? You have an understanding of what kind of things you have to, you're tempted with personally. One brother might be tempted with women, one might be tempted with money. What you know your flesh desires, restrain and keep that from you, right? Actually, I got one more on that.
Yeah, because that's the same thing like what happened when the devil took Christ up on the mountain. He pretty much said, he presented him with the whole world and said, I give you all this if you bow down to me. Don't think you're not above that. You're going to be tested the same way. I'm tested the same way. We're all tested the same way.
This is Ecclesiasticus 18 and 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. So, fleshly appetites that are contradictory to the law. If you know the law, which is the first step, understanding what God desires from us, if anything in you desires to go against that, you have to stop yourself, right? Bring your flesh into submission and submit to the spirit instead. Does that make sense? Obedience. Obedience. Practice. It don't happen overnight, I'll tell you that. Once you know better, try to do better. And then just continually do better along the way. Don't go backwards, right? Try to keep going forward. You're going to struggle with some shit. You're going to fall down sometimes, but keep moving forward. Don't stay down, right? Make sense? And then being around brothers like this, hearing the word, it says faith comes by hearing. It'll build you up. So you'll want to be obedient. You can replace those desires you have for the flesh to desires to be obedient to the Most High.
This is Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the street of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
So, blessed is the man that meditates and his delight is in the law of the Lord. Right? That man is blessed. Right? Because in order for you to really not get into put yourself in the way of sin, you need to be around like-minded people, which is why it says don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly, which is why go ahead, bring it up again. I don't want to butcher you.
It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
So you don't want to do those things right there. You don't want to sit in the seat of the scornful, trying to make yourself better than the next man just because they fall. You don't want to hinder somebody into sin. You don't want to be around people that's doing ungodly things, especially if you're really trying to do this walk. Which is why we surround ourselves with like-minded people in this walk. Because if I get to falling, they gonna say something to me. You know? Because I'm accountable for them, they're accountable for me. We are our brother's keepers. And this is something that we need to do as a people. This is why we out here to do this. And it also tells you that blessed is that man that's walking in the commandments, pretty much. And that's, go ahead and one more time.
Psalm 21. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
So our delight should be in the law of the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because and we should be meditating day and night on these laws. This is how we keep ourselves from sinning. Right. The more we're thinking about the Most High, the more we worry about His laws, statutes, and commandments, you don't have time to do anything else. You don't want to put yourself, you don't even want to give yourself an outlet to sin. Impossible. You know what I'm saying?
So Ecclesiastes 9:15. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. So basically saying, you want to learn about the scripture, you want to be a godly man, then talk with the wise and conversate about the law of the Most High. That'll be more than anything. Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. Cursed is the man that does. So don't be walking with them over people. It's not saying you can't be around them. It's like all you do is around them. You like their ideology, what they do. That's what we're speaking about. Because we understand that Christ was dealing with sin. We understand that Peter was dealing with the uncircumcised. You know what I'm saying? So it's not saying don't ever be around them. Because if you're never around them, how can you turn people back to Christ? So you can be around them, you just can't. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's go meet that link. Let's light that up. That's what's
Don't take advice from them. You know, don't follow their ways. But you are to be around them because we're supposed to be a light to the Gentiles. Right. The only way you don't want to be a light to the light. What is that going to do? Right. So you got to put yourself around them, but they need to hearken to you, not you hearken to them. Right.
Revelations 18 verse 4.
Bring it up.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not her praise.
So that's speaking about this place right here that we live in, America. Because they pretty much let you do whatever you want to, in a way. I mean, there's so much sin that goes on here. There's so much sin that goes on here. We got a place called the City of Sin.
Right.
Sin City, right? So, I mean, it's pretty much just letting you know, don't partake in these things that you see around you all the time and hearken into this life.
This is Romans 10:14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not heard, in whom they have not believed? How shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without preaching? So it's basically saying, no, nobody's going to believe if nobody's taught. Nobody's going to believe if you never obviously you have to shed that light. If they're in darkness, you want them to be a light. You got to, shine that light to them. They just go naturally catch flame. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's all.
There's the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 14.
Bring it out, huh?
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
So blessed are they that, this is to reiterate the last precept that I brought out, which was Psalms 1 and 2. Blessed is the man that keeps the commandments, and blessed is he and delights in meditating on the Lord, on the law.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
So, in order for you to have a right to the tree of life, read the first part again.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Blessed are they that do his commandments. If you want a right to the tree of life, you got to do the commandments. That's the That's like you being at an amusement park. That's the ticket to get on that ride. You know what I'm saying? You can't get on that ride unless you keep it in the commandments. Keeping the commandments is the ticket.
And they enter in through the gates into the city.
So you're not even going to be able to enter into the amusement park if you're not keeping the commandments. Right? This is what they need to be teaching our people in the church, but they not. Have you ever heard that in church ever? No, the law's dead, right? So how you gonna make it to heaven if they ain't even telling you what the ticket is?
For with them are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
So if you don't make it inside this amusement park, all them people is on the outside of that gate with you or with whoever don't make it. You got the dogs and the whoremongers and the murderers. These people ain't making it into the gate.
This is Matthew 19:16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. So he asked him a question, yo, what do I got to do to, attain that salvation, that eternal life? What do I got to do to be saved? He said, look, don't call me good, but to answer your question, keep the commandments. You got to keep the law. This is Proverbs 19:6. 7.
Oh, it's my bad. Psalms. Salakia. I don't know it, bro. Say that one more time. Study to show yourself approved. So before me going to church, I ain't never heard the Bible brought out like this, bro. Precept upon precept, explaining everything to a T, bro. And I was like amazed when I heard somebody doing that, bro. Like,
this is James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. You want to know more? Just ask the Lord, man. Good time. But patience. It works with patience. So we're going to try you. Right. Dealing with you. Don't expect it to come right away. So Ecclesiastes 1:14. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb.
right.
First starts with fear, first step is fear. You know what I'm saying? Once you start fearing the Lord, He tells you to do it.
Oh shit. So he gonna send wisdom around to you. And she gonna try you. Just like you said earlier. Wisdom is like it into a woman. You fear the Lord, He gonna send wisdom to you. And she gonna test you to see if you can handle what she got. Little louder. You got it.
This ain't the there was like a woman.
No. It's reckoned as. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
It's like an analogy.
yeah, no. It's not saying that every woman is wise as hell, that every woman got all the wisdom. No, it's just saying that woman is reckoned as.
Nah. They tell you in the Bible, I suffer not a woman to teach. All All right, so don't listen to everyone.
Hey, I got a precept for that.
There's been many women that led our men astray and they got them killed. Right. Even to this day, bro. So no, that's not talking about a literal lady. It's an analogy that the Most High used so that we can get it. Go ahead.
I got two. So you guys were speaking about women being in an analogy compared to wisdom.
Yes.
And then the point was that all women are not wise, and that's not speaking about women in general.
Right.
Okay. Lamentation. Now you go. Lamentations 4:3 says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast, even they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness. Right? One more, right? The Bible speaks about ostriches 2 times in the Bible. One, it just compared our women to ostriches, right? This is Job 39, starting at 13.
Bring it out, huh?
Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in the dust, and forgotteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Basically saying, especially disconnected from God and these law, statutes, and commandments, our men are destroyed. Our women, even more so, because we're the heads, right? It starts with the men, trickle down effect. If we not getting what we need from these law, statutes, and commandments, how much more less the women, right? It compares them to ostriches, which don't care for their young, a lot of times kill their own young, just in not considering the welfare of the eggs, right? They trample on their own eggs, leave them in the dust for other animals to come kill. And God says these ostriches, likened unto our women, a lot of times are deprived from wisdom, right? Just showing that wisdom and women aren't the same, but they can be comparable, right? You're supposed to long after wisdom, like a lot of times we long after these women, right? That makes sense?
Proverbs 3, verse 13.
Bring it out, Ken.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
So if the Most High God is dealing with you and he allows you to learn wisdom and gain knowledge, it's better than any silver and gold you can ever make on this in this kingdom.
Right?
It's better than anything. That's one of the best things you can ever get from the Most High God. They can't take that wisdom from you. They can't take that knowledge and that understanding from you. And you can give it to your brothers. And then they'll be just as rich as you. Let me get that. I think I had you down.
Psalms 19:7. Psalms 19:7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
So the law of the Lord is perfect. The law that he gave the Israelites. The law, statutes, and commandments is perfect. So if the law is perfect and we keep the law, that makes us perfect in his eyes.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
So when you do these things and you start keeping his commandments and you get that wisdom, it's gonna make, so say you didn't have a good understanding before, it's gonna make you a wiser person. Everybody around you is gonna notice it. Some people are not gonna be able to handle it, but they'll know. If they ever needed to ask you any questions about something, they'll know to come to you because the Most High gave it to you to have, to give to our other people. Anything else on that?
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land hither thou goest to possess it.
So earlier we read that we keep the commandments and we live. We don't, we die. He just reiterated that. And what it's saying is he set before us, even especially you right now, he's setting it before you right now in front of the men of the Lord. This day you can choose life, keeping the commandments, or death, going back into the world. Right? And it's your choice. What you want to do. You want to follow the Most High God, or you want to follow this world into destruction? That's exactly what's going on. From what I understand, this British circle in the drain right now, getting ready to go get flushed down the toilet, pretty much. So if you want to be on that boat, you know, other than that, keeping these commandments is the way to go.
This is 2 Peter 2:20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yahushua, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. But it happened according to them to proper, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. So, saying what it says, when you escape the pollutions of the world, it's all about iniquity and sin. So when you escape the wrongdoing that you've been doing, and then you hear about, the good things that the Lord comes with, keeping the laws, the salvation, the repentance, you get a clean slate to stop doing that, and you go back to that, it was better that you would have never known it. Because your end is now worse, because you know you're not supposed to be doing that, and you're doing it. I know I'm not supposed to be getting drunk from the sun up all the way sundown. I'm just drunk out I can't walk straight. You're not supposed to be doing that. You still do it. You know you're not supposed to be lusting after another man's wife. You still do it. It's better for you never even known it. But the Lord wants everybody to know this. Right. So he's letting you know, don't play with me. I'm not a man to play with. Christianity gave us this idea that God and his son are just effeminate people. They're not. They're masculine. Luke 19:27, Christ says, whoever doesn't want to serve me, bring them here and slay them before me. He's telling other people to kill somebody before him. That's how the Lord wants them. You're going to serve me or you're going to die. So get right with the program. That's why he brought out a beautiful scripture. Choose you this day who you going to serve.
Revelation 3:16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
So the Most High ain't dealing with somebody trying to be on both sides of the fence. You either gonna be hot or you gonna be cold, right? And if you hot, if you on fire for the Lord, that's what you want to do, right? But if you cold, he'd rather you be hot or cold than trying to figure out what you want to do. He's not playing with you like that. He'll take you out the game easy. Right.
Listen to someone saying circle the train, right? Revelations 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her.
it's basically like an analogy, meaning one day it's going to happen that quick. Boom, boom, boom. Because 1,000 years to us, one day to the Most High. So for him, it's spiraling in the drain real quick. You know, Christ was crucified 2 days ago to him. But to us, it's 2,000 years. It's a long time for us, but it's short for him, which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's just spiraling down really quickly. We understand the pandemic happened, and Russia, they be there. Kind of talking about the same thing. Russia's around the corner. Everybody's Russian wars in Russia. You know what I'm saying? Everything is happening very quickly. You know, I was talking to my wife. We was talking about something. She was like, "Yeah, that was a year ago." Yeah, so time is quick. You know what I'm saying? It's happening very quickly. Everything will happen.
This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 10. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10th parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part.
Right.
Basically saying, the world has, you've heard of the terminology doomsday clock. The world has a doomsday clock according to the Bible, and we damn near at midnight already. Right? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 71. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye.
So the Most High wants you to understand that His law should be the apple of your eye. That should be your goal to be doing every day. That's why it tells you in Psalms 1:1 or 1:2, meditate on this law day and night. Pretty much, you should be meditating in this law. Because the more you're keeping this law in your mind, the less you got time to sin, the less you're letting in a way for you to go the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So you want to just make sure that you are doing your best to keep the law. And it's not a hard thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for people that love this world and that want to be a part of this world.
Right.
This is Ecclesiasticus 33. I'll start at 26. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck.
Right.
So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil.
Right.
Saying idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Right.
If you are occupied in these prophecies, meditating in these laws, and you're constantly, your time is spent in this word, you have less time to sin and displease God, right? Does that make sense? You only have so much time in a day. If you give 20 hours to the Most High, which that's a lot, right? Just studying, that's a lot. But let's say 8. You go to work for the white man for 8 hours. You come home, you study. After you do what you got to do, spend as much time as you can in this word, around brothers in this truth, and it'll give you less opportunity to go off. Make sense? Yeah.
Hey, look, I got an example, bro. It's like this. So in the neighborhood I grew up in, they had this thing called open gym, which would take place at maybe 5 p.m., right, until 9:30. But once open gym was gone, niggas started going to jail.
Right.
Right, because you didn't have nothing to do. That's why they always talk about keeping the kids busy in activities and stuff like that. Because if you have idle time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be out here getting into stuff you shouldn't be getting into.
Hey,
It's the same kind of concept.
have you seen Gridiron Gang? That's what it's called, ain't it? With The Rock. So, juvenile detention center where all these brothers was killing their own people, selling drugs, whatever it was that landed them in there. Giving them an opportunity to do something constructive, gave them something else to focus on where they didn't have leisure time to go out and think about doing evil shit.
Right.
Make sense? So exchanging these evil worldly thoughts with something positive and constructive in the Most High, that'll help you a lot as far as staying on the straight and narrow.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Right. Anybody not explaining to you that we need to do these laws, statutes, and commandments? Ain't no light in that person. So if you went to church, they telling you the law's dead, ain't no light in that pastor. Ain't no light in that pastor. He has a price to pay for that. He's going to be least in the kingdom for that. Let me get that first John.
This is 1 John 5:2. By this we know that we love the children of God.
Do you know how you can show that you love the children of God? Teach them what? What's the word? Bring it out, Jay.
By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep His commandments.
So when we love God and keep His commandments, that's how you show that you love the children of God. Because if you're keeping the commandments, and one of the commandments is pretty much telling you you're not supposed to let your brother sin. You're pretty much your brother's keeper, and you're not going to let him go on because it's going to be blood on your hands. Just like it's blood on my hands if you let you go on. Without hearing this word, without preaching it to you right, without preaching it to you the right way, the proper way, in the proper context, that's blood on my hands. That's blood on their hands. Because that's what we sent out here to do. Keep going.
For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
So if anybody ever asks you how you show that you love the Lord, the Most High, keep His commandments. His commandments are not grievous. They're not hard to do. What's hard about wearing tassels or fringes on your shirt? What's hard about something you already do? Growing your beard out. What's hard about don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster? You're not supposed to eat shellfish. You're only supposed to eat things in the sea or in the water that have fins and scales. You know? What's hard about not lying to your brother? You know, these commandments ain't hard. Don't lust after your brother's wife. Don't be covetous. You know, it's not hard to do some of these things. Don't be effeminate. You know?
So this is to build on this point. He said, you see what I'm saying? If you break it, the Lord's law, you're going to sin. You're going to get right. This is Leviticus 5:1. And if a soul sin and hears the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen it or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. So if you see somebody going on, you don't say nothing, you're now sinning because you're not correcting your brother. If you see something, you gotta say something. If I see him doing something wrong, hey, bro, you can't do it. If I'm going off and I start working at it, I got working it. You see somebody sinning, you gotta correct them.
And that's actually showing that you love that person. Because you're not gonna correct somebody you don't love. If you got children, you're gonna correct your son or daughter when they going off. You have a girl, you're gonna hey, you shouldn't be doing that. Why are you talking to these people that way? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just if it's wrong, it's wrong.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27, Verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
So to rebuke your brother openly, to correct him openly, is better than the very secret that he has. And then now both of y'all walking in sin. Both of y'all got something to answer to the Most High for. And hopefully it's not a sin unto death, because both of y'all gonna die.
Right.
See, what our people don't understand is that the Most High, he got a nickname, the King of Terror.
Come on.
He's the King of Terror. Ain't nobody better than terror.
Ezekiel 3 verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, for his blood will I require at thine hand.
So if your brother is going off, and you don't tell him that he's going off, and he died, that's on you. You got to answer for that. Because you didn't even tell him. The Most High, that's why we're standing up here. We're giving our people a warning.
Right?
And if we don't give you that warning, we just let you walk past, that's blood on our hands. We got to answer for not telling you what we were supposed to do. We were commanded to come out here and do.
Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, warn him. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
So if we see our brother going off, and we let him know that, he like, man, I don't care nothing about what you talking about, and he go die, that's on him. Because we told him, hey, you shouldn't be doing that right there. See what I mean? So you got to keep the blood off your hands. This is why we come out here. We get weak after week, month after month, to warn our people. We're not telling them, we're warning them. Hey, it's a storm about to come. There's destruction getting ready to happen over here, and you need to repent and turn back to the law and the commandments from the Lord God. Let these idols go and do what he told us to do. If we don't do that, then we're in trouble. All right, so this is the last one. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Kate. I got 137.
This is Luke 15. I'll start at 7. I say unto you that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons which need no repentance. Right? Skipping down to verse 10. Likewise I say unto you, there is joy in heaven in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Let's say, for argument's sake, these brothers up here have repented. We're not doing sin no more, and I'm not saying that, right? Let's say these men are perfect. We've already repented. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We know that this is a journey. We're not claiming to be perfect. But let's say that's the fact. But you're coming into this knowledge fresh, right? This is a new journey for you. You're just learning these commandments. You repent. There's more joy in heaven between God and the angels over you coming to repent than brothers like this that have already been in this one. Does that make sense? It's a beautiful thing to have one sheep, one lost individual come back and love God and his people. The people that have been doing it already. Right? So it's just the fact that you up here listening right now is a beautiful thing. All praise to the Most High. All praise.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So this is the reason that we're even here. This It's the whole reason that we're on this planet right now.
Fear God.
So fear God.
And keep His commandments.
And keep His commandments. Everybody want to know the meaning of life? Read it again.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
The whole reason that you are here on this planet, to fear the Most High God and to keep His commandments. And with that, I yield.
Shine the light on. They done let them bruise in the dough. Oh shit. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. We ain't going nowhere. Hebrews. Hebrews. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. Look, Joe Biden need to free Dark Lo. The hell is wrong with dude? If you Hebrew K, what the hell is wrong with you? He said, Deacon, you a Hebrew, I can't do a song with you. If the Christians find out, then they gon' take me off the pews. I'm like, shut the hell up, clown, stop picking sides. I'm so Hebrew, you can see it in my eyes. Lately I've been seeing the Hebrews on the rise. And if they say we hate white people, that ain't lies. I know some Hebrews from out west, them boys be blickied up. I know some Hebrews from out east, them camps be lit as fuck. I know a sister from the west and she be scriptured up. And if you jump in her DM, she gon' refuse to lust. I like pomegranates, cause it got stars on it. My heart bleed for my people, though it got scars on it. Yeah.